Is there a possibility to return back the money after got scammed here in the UAE? Ha ha. Oh my goodness. That's a very painful question, because there have been so many different scams and we've been dealing with them, and it's just heartbreaking and often from a legal perspective infuriating, because depending on what kind of a scam it was, in legal terms, there's an argument that often the overseeing party is responsible for compensating and reimbursing the victim for the scam, but in practical terms, we haven't quite seen companies taking up that responsibility yet. So is there a possibility? There's a possibility, but it really depends on so many different things. So if the perpetrator is still in the country and you pursue legal actions, you have a chance. But in most cases, the scams these days, unfortunately, are so called sophisticated. The timings are very well thought through in advance. So by the time you realize that you're scammed and you file a case, the person most of the time has already left the country. So very difficult to tell you. But one way or the other, in most cases, you will need to bring a court case. But bringing a court case, obviously, there's expenses to the court case, one. And then two, more importantly, is that once you have a judgment, can you actually enforce on that judgment? Because if the perpetrator is not here, it may be that, let's say, the bank accounts were frozen. If the bank accounts were frozen, then you have a chance to still get your judgment covered. But without it, it's really, there's a lot of nuances. But I sympathize with all those people who have been scammed. There have been too many scams on so many different levels, and it's very difficult for us as legal practitioners. We want to be able to help, and sometimes the law even exists, depending on the circumstances, that clearly assign the responsibility on who should reimburse the victim, and the companies just don't do it. So, from a legal standpoint, it's kind of disheartening. But I mean, as is everything else in the UAE, the laws and the legal industry and the legislative industry are evolving by leaps and bounds. So I am optimistic and positive that in the foreseeable future, the regulations and the practice will have changed in a way that it will become a lot easier for victims of scams to get reimbursed.